Prime Minister, thank you, is working on creating an international treaty for artificial intelligence, which could lead, potentially, to a global regulator.
Yes, it comes just days after Rishi Sunak met with American big tech leaders where they discussed the risks that AI poses for disinformation.
Well, Georgia Gilholy from Young Voices joins us now. Morning to you. What do you make of this, Georgia? I mean, the fact that the PM met some really influential and important tech people just a couple of days ago and is now launching into this. I mean, clearly this is something he's been feeling that he needs to address.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's Rishi Sunak alone that thinks this is something that needs to be regulated. I think that we've of course heard about AI for years and how its advances are going to change society immeasurably, including industry and what we do online, and possibly getting rid of lots of jobs that it's going to outcompete, basically. And I think that we've seen it grow immeasurably in the past year. You know, we have people regularly using chatbots, the Snapchat one in particular, and Ask AI has become a meme, but it's also something that has become an important work tool in lots of jobs. And I think that people are very sort of cautious about where this might go, given that it's grown so fast it seems like just within a few months. Of course, this is something that the experts have been working on for decades, but it's something that's, I think, only just sort of trickling down to normal people's consciousness. And I think that realistically, there does need to be regulation, because this is something that is, in many cases, imitating humans. And I think that that's something that always, in a sort of uncanny way, makes people suspicious. But I think for good reason, because this could be used malevolently. It could be, of course, used for good reasons, but it could also be used in ways that governments and companies and just regular people might sort of fall victim to, depending on how it's being used.
Georgia, how much we read into the fact that 2 days ago Rishi Sunak had this meeting with American tech bosses and literally straight after he's talking about working on an international treaty and potentially a global regulator as well. It would suggest that that meeting was very enlightening to the Prime Minister.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't something he's particularly talked about a lot previously, and I think that meeting probably was quite influential. It's interesting how it's taken this meeting, as you say, for him to at least publicly address this kind of regulation. I think it kind of speaks to the fact that even though many British people, British companies and British politicians have expressed their concerns about this previously, in a way, the UK in its current situation is quite beholden to global corporate interests, especially American ones. And I think that often we sort of underestimate how important that is, even just in our politics.
Do we have to be careful that we don't tie ourselves in knots with this? Because for a lot of people, of course, they don't quite get AI or exactly what the real concerns of AI are. And so we've got to be very careful about not giving people the wrong information here, haven't we? Or not to alarm people unnecessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some kind of educational program would be useful. I think probably, hopefully, quite soon, but maybe in the next few years, we'll see this sort of enter curriculums in schools, and people will not just be learning about what AI is and what the risks and the benefits of course are of it. They'll probably be learning sort of how to create it and that kind of thing, especially at higher levels in universities. More a next generation learning how to create different higher forms of it, of course. I think that when it comes to something like AI, as you're saying, it's something that's been, I suppose, a feature of dystopian TV dramas and films. And I think on this issue, and of course a lot of different issues, people's opinion of it has probably walked quite a lot by that. And I think that really the government, but also the media, could probably do a better job of helping people understand it. But of course, you have the fact that it's such a fast-changing thing that people are never going to be able to understand every single aspect of it, especially as it's changing so fast. And there's so many different companies in the UK and elsewhere that are advancing it very, very quickly.
OK, Georgia, good to see you this morning. Thanks very much indeed.